Alright guys, welcome back. In today's question, we have this right triangle that has one side of n squared, the base of n, and the hypotenuse is n cubed, and we need to figure out the value of the n. So we're gonna start with calling this side a, this one b, and the hypotenuse c, and we have a right triangle. The first thing that's going to come to our mind is the Pythagorean theorem, which is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. And what we called for c is n cubed to the power of 2 equals to n squared to the power of 2 plus squared. So from the laws of the exponent, we know that if we have a to the power of m to the power of n, this will be equal to a to the power of m times n. So if that's the case, the first one we have 2 times 3 is 6. We have 2 times 2, 4 plus n squared. So we're going to bring everything on the left side of the equation. So we'll have n to the 6 minus n to the 4 minus n squared equals 0. And looking at this, we can see that we can factor n squared from each of these. And from the first one, we have n to the 4, n to the 2 minus 1 equals 0. And we know if we have a times b equals 0, that means a can be 0 and b can be 0 too. So if that's the case, n squared can be 0. Solving this, we'll get n equals 0. And if we get back to the question, we'll see that we have a right triangle and n cannot be 0, so this answer is not accepted. And we also have n to the power of 4 minus n squared minus 1 equals 0. And in here, let's call n squared x. And if we do that, we'll get x squared minus x minus 1 equals 0. And now we have a quadratic equation, and we have this format for quadratic equation: a x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And if we want to find the x in here, we will have minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4 times a times c over 2 times a. So in our equation, our a is 1, our b is minus 1, and our c is minus 1 as well. So we can find our x. So our x will be minus b, which is minus 1, so we'll get a plus 1 plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c divided by 2 times a, or 2. So this will be plus 4 and this will be 1. That means we have plus 1 plus or minus square root of 5 divided by 2, and one of our x will be 1 plus square root of 5 divided by 2, and the other x would be 1 minus square root of 5 divided by 2. So we know square root of 5 is more than square root of 4, because that would be 2, and square root of 5 would be something more than 2, and if that's more than 2, this will be a negative value. And if that's the case, that means our x, which was n squared, equals to a negative value, which will be, and we know this is less than 0, and that cannot be an answer too, because we won't get, we'll get an imaginary number, which is not what we are looking for in here. So our x, the only acceptable one is the x that we found, 1 plus the square root of 5 divided by 2, and this will be equal to n squared, because at the beginning we called, so right here we called our x n squared. So if that's the case, our n squared equals to a, and if we want to find the answer for this, the n will be plus or minus a. So if that's the case, our n will be plus or minus square root of 1 plus. So again, the negative value won't be acceptable because one of the sides of our triangle is n. So this cannot be a negative amount. So the negative sign won't be acceptable too. And the only answer that we'll have will be the square root of 1 plus square root of 5 divided by 2. And if we calculate this, we'll get an amount of around 1.3, and that would be the only answer that is acceptable for this question. And that would be all for this one. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. It's gonna help us to grow the channel and reach out to more students. And you guys have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.